Alright, episode 80, and today's gonna be a good one because it is about to get metal as fuck with the Amazonian beast, the Skull Crusher, the Jaguar. These aren't just some Americanized leopards, these are the pound-for-pound middleweight champions of the animal kingdom. With a top running speed of 50 miles per hour, the ability to climb up trees while deadlifting a full-grown caiman in its teeth, the swimming and diving endurance to cross the Panama Canal, and the strongest bite force relative to size of any big cat. God didn't make a holdover panther for the New World, he made a fucking problem. But to properly understand how egregious this tropic terror really is, let's talk about where it came from, shall we? Being the only species of Panthera this side of the planet, our first question is when and where did our case subject first begin? Well, best we could tell, it was actually in Africa, 3.42 million years ago, and spread throughout Eurasia roughly 1.95 million years ago. While logically we may assume the leopard was the closest relative, we actually can't say that for sure. See, nuclear DNA analysis indicate that they actually are closer related to lions. However, this is very debated, seeing how the mitochondrial DNA tests show that they diverged from Panthera before either the leopard or the lion evolved. What we do know is the first jaguar, the most direct ancestor to our South American assassin, evolved 3 to 2 million years ago and was known as Panthera, holy shit, gamblozogensis. And it was actually even bigger than the modern jaguar. While the average jaguar weighs roughly 123 to 212 pounds, this Eurasian jaguar hit 200 to 260, or possibly even more, seeing how it's extinct. Now, as with every other story that has to do with old mammals, the Eurasian jaguar passed into North America over the Bering Land Bridge roughly 850,000 years ago, which evidently was enough cardio to lose that extra 50 pounds. Eventually, they would make their way throughout the Americas until the army of unstoppable hairless monkeys showed up, killed pretty much everything cool living in North America, and don't worry, luckily for my father's favorite cat, they never quite took this species-wide ass-kicking to South America. So, in about 11,000 BC, they would return to the north. Today, they can be found in pretty much every Latin American nation sans Uruguay, Chile, and El Salvador. However, they are cat at heart, so adventure is in their veins, and have been occasionally spotted in southern US states like Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Now that we've wrapped up all that nerd shit, let's get into why these are the most hardcore animals probably ever. Starting with the name. Scientifically, it doesn't pull much cred with Panthera onca. Panthera, panther, just a big cat. Onca is actually pretty cool, being not Latin nor Greek, for once, and actually being Portuguese. And I'm not kidding, this one word means spotted cat larger than a lynx. Which, is it a fucking acronym? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about its real name. Its good name. Jaguar. Which comes from the Tupi-Guarani word jaguara, meaning wild beast that kills with a single bound. Metal as fuck. And this is one hell of a fitting name, because unlike other big cats that believe in crushing the windpipe and severing the jugular are the optimal ways of ending their prey, the tried and true method of bleeding out, well, the jaguar looked at that and said, why would I risk them fighting back when I just factory reset that bitch by crushing its skull and piercing its brain with my 3¼ inch teeth? And that badassery was not lost on the native peoples of Mesoamerica. Cultures from the Inca to the Aztecs saw it as a symbol of pure strength and power. The Olmec of modern-day Veracruz and Tabasco had stone motifs of human-jaguar hybrids, akin to what we, in the Anglo world, would consider werewolves. The Maya believed that they were beings of the underworld and often carved them into tombs. They also associated them with great rulers and warriors with the animal. But no warrior is more infamous than the Aztec Ocelotl, the jaguar warriors. Being some of the best the Aztecs had to offer, the Ocelotl would wear the skins of the jaguar into combat and were outfitted with only the best equipment they could get. In Aztec mythology, the jaguar was also associated with two major deities. First, Tapiolotl, god of dark caves, earthquakes, echoes, and the jaguar itself. But the better known is the dark god of the north, the immortal rival of the winged serpent, the black Tezcatlipoca. God of providence, invisibility, darkness, the night, hurricanes, and obsidian, this god would actually be the first to attempt to become the sun in Aztec mythology. But, being the god of literal darkness and straight up the color black, that did not work so well. Eventually, the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, knocked his ass out of the sky with an obsidian club. Now, why did I bring that little story up? And that's simple. What do you think he did in response to another god giving him the business end of what is essentially a bat covered in glass? Obviously, it was to punish humanity by making it rain jaguars. Yes, he decides to airdrop 200-pound cross-country big cats like rain. And that's only the first fifth of that story, by the way. If you're interested in learning more, look up the Aztec story of the 5 sons. Now, I think that's enough on the Aztecs for now. Many cave drawings have also been found across the American Southwest from cultures like the Hopi, Anasazi, and the Pueblo. But one of the least expected artifacts I found in my research was a conch shell with a jaguar engraving on it, found in Benton County, Missouri. And so, to this day, the jaguar is still a massive symbol across all sorts of cultures. Unfortunately, we're really getting through the time, and while I would love to talk about a football team that wins as many Super Bowls as the state of Florida has mountains, I really can't be bothered to give a fuck. But what I will talk about is the Jaguar Car Company, for no other reason than to point and laugh at their sales. Eat shit, nerd. That's what you get for being a bunch of posh Eurotrash squares. Yeah, one more point and laugh for the road. Anyway, that is all I have for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If there's anything you would like to add, please feel free to leave it in the comments. And until next time, go outside, touch grass, hug your loved ones, drink water, and bye-bye.